Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and I thought I would work on some ephemera for my bird journals. I have stickers and journal cards and stamps, and I really don't have a direction that I'm going. I haven't done much since the last video. The bins have just been sitting here. Instead of dealing with more 12 by 12 paper and trying to look for stuff, I thought I'd work on this, and then maybe I'll stumble across some more paper for the pages and finish out the signatures. Rondita left me a comment that said she takes her sticker sheets and she uses a blank sticker sheet and she puts the ones on it. I don't necessarily have a blank one available right now, but I could do some rearranging. And let's be honest, I probably do have a blank one. I just don't know where to look. The other thing I can do is I can just flip it over. So on this one, there really isn't much that I would want to pull off. There's nothing bird specific. So I can take this one, put it on here on the back, and this one. I'm not really into the bike in general. I don't mind this blue one. I like this Inspire and the birds, and I think I'll even leave the pinkish postage stamp. And then right here I have this puffy bird that I cut out of something, and I'm going to put him on there. So then I can set this aside. I have all sorts of general stickers and embellishments, and that's fine. If I just need something of a different color, I'll grab it. But that way I can keep all my birds together. I thought it was a pretty great idea. These might be a little cutesy, some of them, but I love puffy stickers. Is that ridiculous for a grown woman? It might be, a little bit. And the thing I love about these tiny, tiny ones is they'll go into an embellishment cluster really nicely. You can wedge them in next to a flower or an enamel dot or put them on a postage stamp. I mean, these are itty bitties. So I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of these little tiny birds, and I'm gonna just zoom you in so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. And I'm gonna put them all on here. And then I will have a sticker sheet of birds. I'm even gonna put the pink one and this little blue one. And I'm trying to make it more natural and less cutesy, but I'm gonna let in a little bit of cutesy, especially when it comes to puffy stickers. And then there's one more down here. And by pulling all of my choices in, then when I'm putting together groupings, I can see the different color choices. Now, I don't see any more birds. I'm gonna set that aside. If I need more puffy stickers, I know where they are. Oh, these are just too cute, the whole thing. So we have gold birds on here and blue birds. I might change my approach a little bit on this one. Blue and gold. So for this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it right here. That way, I don't know, maybe they're set to share in Happy Mail, however I wanna do it. But I have these little gold birds, and there we go. And these are close to my heart. I think Eileen gave these to me. The butterflies are super cute too. I could easily see me doing the same concept that we're doing right now with butterflies and making some crazy over-the-top butterfly journals. How fun would that be? Maybe late January or February. These dragonflies, I don't know where they came from, but they're super cool and they're metallic. I might need a dragonfly in my bird journal. These, I don't know what I'm doing with a bunch of kitchen-y stuff. Okay, then I have a bird clip, a bobby pin right here. I'm gonna just clip that on. It will go in the journal at the end on a page, and it came from like a planner kit or something. In this ephemera kit, we've got a yellow bird, 2 yellow birds. They're pretty cute. I don't think I'm gonna pull out any of the flowers, but I do wanna, oh, there's another one on a branch. Let's pull those birds out. To align some of this stuff and make it match, we can bring in, we can ink the edges all the same. We can use some, what's that glossy stuff? Glossy accents, you guys know. Glossy accents to add some shine to things that don't have shine. We could put similar shimmer onto them. This is not Wink of Stella. It is the Nouveau brand, but same idea. So you can use different products to kind of standardize your things. Like these two things, if we put them together and we put Wink of Stella on both, or Nouveau, whatever it is, it kind of makes them seem like they came together and makes them go together better. That's why people ink the edges of things. If I go on an inking spree here, I don't know if I'll use like a tea dye or maybe a blue on the blue cover journal. You never know. If we were doing butterflies, oh my gosh, this place is out of control with butterflies. I didn't intentionally, that I recall, shop a lot for birds, but I did come up with quite a few birds anyway. This was on a cute little piece of paper that I got a note on. Every heart has a voice. And we've got some bird stuff right here. And then I have a bunch of stamps. So I want to start stamping out some images. And here's some more 6x6 pages that I haven't worked into the journals yet. These are a very nice thickness of paper. I could use these as pockets or tip outs. I also could take this and fold it right here, and this could be on one side of the journal and then this would be a small page on the other side. It just depends on what you want to do. And sometimes deciding, once you learn how to make journals and have all these options, the deciding can be hard. I also have some fun stuff in here. I knew that I was thinking about making a bird journal, so I had started setting aside things and accumulating them. This is fabric that has birds flying around in it, and it looks like the edge of a butterfly. This might be cute on the page, especially with this color palette book. It could be a flip up somewhere and we could have something on it. So I'm going to just put that in that bin. This is really bright, so I don't see us using that. I dug into the cupboard of shame, and I have these clear plastic envelopes with the paper in them. So let's grab one. Ooh, I kind of like that. I don't know if you can see, but it has stamped images really pale on it. Let's just grab some of these things and stamp on them. And if we don't use them, well, who cares? We can put them back in the bin. This is some tea-dyed paper that's seen better days. I'm not going to worry about using permanent ink because I don't plan on making mixed media messes with this. I imagine I might tear it and layer it up. You know what I don't have is just a basic piece of thin paper. Let's find one. Ooh, I like this one. These are note cards or something that I tea-dyed. But this one is just a basic piece of paper. And we do need one. We might not use that one, depends on what we do with it. If it's too fun, we won't use it. But we need something to put on here. I was thinking I might just glue it on the back. So let's stamp on this. Then we can either add it in as a page in our journal, or we can tear it up, or whatever comes to us. I'm going to use just my VersaFine pads. They have beautiful detail for sentiments. They stamp nicely. There isn't a reason that you have to run out and buy those if you don't have them. And if memory serves me, that might be the older packaging, and I think I like it. I also have blue. I know you're surprised by that. The earth has music for those who listen. There's another one that says all good things are wild and free that has butterflies. So what I was thinking was maybe we could put this here, and then, oh, we have some feathers. I never use feathers. I just didn't really get into that. Do we want to go brown or black? I'm imagining this in this journal. I know, it's not like you can answer me right. I'm thinking we go brown because there's just really not much black in here, and I don't want it to be loud on this page. I do have the brown, and then I have toffee. I think we want to actually go brown for this. Let's try it. And if this goes badly, we can always just tear up this piece of paper and use it for something else. And I'm just going to let it sit there for a minute. I'm not sure if this paper, I know it's tea dyed. Knowing me, it could have some weird mixed media product on part of it where it's not going to soak it up. There we go. And this is ink put on with a cork. What if we just have a couple of feathers? Before you stamp too much or work with your paper, you want to think about if you're going to have to trim it down. I don't think I'm going to have to trim it down. I'm hoping I don't have to trim it down because there's a little bit darker edge right there because of the tea or coffee. And at this point, I don't have a plan. I don't have I've done this before. I don't even have a real idea of where we're going, but I can tell you I don't love that color. So I'm going to use the darker one. And I'm just going to run some feathers down this edge. And if you're really worried about how well it stamps or that kind of thing, then you probably shouldn't be using this stamp. What the heck? There we go. There. So I have feathers down the side. This page wouldn't necessarily show at the same time. If I want, I can stamp on the other page later. But while we have this page out, let's put a big old bird right there. And since we already have brown on that page and it wasn't overly loud, I'm going to go black this time. I want my bird to really pop. And if you want to be successful stamping, ink your stamps really well. Test them on a piece of paper like this that's not your project. Make sure you got it all over. Don't get ink on the counter because then you'll rub it on your project. And don't have stuff banging around underneath your project. So pretty much don't learn from me is what I'm saying. I stamped, it was just outside of your vision. Sorry about that. But I think we have a cool bird right there. He might be leaning forward a little. Maybe he's about to take flight. Now, one thing that I think about when I stamp on the pages like this is it is really flat. Let's stamp some stuff on here, and then I could tear it up and layer it over there if I change my mind later. And I also would have some birds to use in embellishment clusters. This might, just the way it is, make an adorable piece of paper for a tuck spot, folded up. It has a quote at the bottom, "Peace is every step." And while I'm inking things up and stamping, I'll just stamp a couple. Because I don't want to clean a stamp for one image. I don't know. I like the birds better than the feathers. Maybe that's just me. Oh my gosh, he's a cute little fat guy. So I have that. And then I might not tear this up. I might not want to tear it up because it's a whole piece. So let's use some of this yellowy goodness pattern paper. I don't know if it matters which side. I don't think it does. This is thin, won't take up a lot of weight. It will layer nicely in anything that I'm working on. It's already colored, so it's not bright white, and it should adapt to either journal. And if you want to be a meticulous stamper, like when I'm card making, you have to stop and wash your hands and get the junk off. But I'm not too worried about that. And I can tear these maybe with a paintbrush, a real fine paintbrush to get them out. If I want nice edges, I can cut them with scissors. If I want more room to maneuver before them, I should give myself some room and not put them all next to each other. And many times the ink bleeds on this kind of paper, on the pattern paper, and I'm okay with that. And I put those all in a row because that might be a border on something. Not all of these stamps are mine, or maybe I've just never used them. I think that is one of the great challenges, right? If you're going to bring something home, get it out and use it. Okay, that stamp, check your stamps before you stamp. See how the white part is middle? Or the middle is white. The middle is not taking the ink. Either it's a low spot or maybe because the stamp's never been used. There we go. Just had to ink it really, really well and check it. Now I'm going to slap it right in there. And because it's a brand new stamp, I'm going to let it sit there for a minute and just kind of think. There we go. It's doing better. Now when I ink it, I'm going to watch really well. Okay, it looks better. Whoops. So I flipped that paper over. Now I have ink all over the counter. So here's what we'll do. We're not going to panic. We're going to cut out the middle. This paper probably takes a little bit of time to dry. And VersaFine is a pigment ink, which means it takes a little longer to dry. It's not quite as quick as a dye ink. I love it because it's so rich and black, and it just gives you great color, or blue, you know, whichever great color you're using. It does need a little extra second to dry, and I was just having so much fun I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, there we go. Now, let's take this big feather, stamp a bunch, and this is, if you haven't figured it out, a sewing pattern. You can get them at thrift stores. You can ask your friends or family. You can search carefully in your home and you may find one. They are like cream colored tissue, essentially. So if you have like some tan tissue, it would pretty much be the same thing. This has a yellowy vintage looking color, so I think people like that. I like the fact that it's really thin and the colors show through. So you can layer it, and you can layer it up and it's not really thick. You know, if I stamp, oh, that is not working very well. If I stamp these on cardstock and then try and tear and layer, it's just not gonna look good. Now, even if you're picky, the fact that that is missing right in the middle, I could put an embellishment. I could put a postage stamp. I could put a puffy sticker of a bird. There's all kinds of ways that that's perfectly useful still. Now, based on the mess on the counter, I would guess that this is going through the tissue a little. I have the glass mats. I do not like them for recording. They make so much glare and the reflections from the lights, so I don't use them a lot. Okay, that stamp is really making me crazy. Even me, and I'm not picky. It actually, when I look at it, you guys, it actually seems thinner right there. So if it was like your absolute most favorite sentiment in the world, you could probably stick a tiny piece of paper under that stamp and lift it there, because I think it's a glitch in the stamp. The other way you can do it, watch this. We'll just do it this way. Just kind of line it up and go choop, and then put some color back in. Okay, I think that's plenty of big feathers. What else? I've used that small bird quite a bit. I don't know that I've used this one. So I'm thinking about the fact that, like, this cute little fat guy, I've used him making other embellishments. So I don't want to use the same stamps for all my stuff. I want, when you turn the pages in the journal, you to see different things. This will come off, don't worry. It might take a little bit of alcohol, but it'll come off. Now let's switch back to brown, just to mix it up a little. Ooh, maybe even some blue. Let's do blue. I recently got a bunch of patterns for free. The thrift store near me sets stuff out on, I think it's Mondays or something. One day they set out free stuff. And I was sitting down eating my lunch, and I thought, oh, I need to run an errand. I just popped right over, picked up a few things, and came back. All right, so I'm gonna put some brown birds here. And I don't know what I wanna do with these exactly. So I might put a couple. Oh, they're not as pronounced as I expected. So I don't love the brown. It was so pale that I'm just gonna clean this stamp off real quick and switch to blue. Let's get a little bit of blue. The blue is very bright, and I think it will show nicely on this. It's a little gooey. This is a pigment ink, like I said, so it's thick. And this paper does not soak like other stuff. Sometimes you want the second or third as a background. I don't know that I love the shape of that for an embellishment. It's going to be a long, strange shape, but maybe on a circle, the tail will be nice. I just love that little fat guy, but like I said, I already used him a bunch. I'm gonna put the owl on something while we're at it, and then I'm probably just gonna let all this stuff dry and switch to some die cutting while I watch TV. I have a bunch of different dies here. This one is from Noni, and I think I will cut some of these in white, cream. How about some earthy metallics, maybe some blue, and just set them down so that when we sit down to make embellishments or do pages, we have a selection of stuff. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I can set it aside for another day. If I die cut too much of it, I can happy mail it to people. Oh my gosh, look at that owl. He's cute. He's cute. Yeah, it goes through onto the counter. That's what my problem is. Let's use this. I want to do one more. The owl he's a little big, but he's just cute. Adhered to a page, this would just add more interest than just stamping plain on a page, right? It's just another way to add a little more interest. I said one more, but let's do one more. There we go. Okay. So I'll set that aside, and you can see why I'm stamping so much, because I have the stamps out, we're making a mess. We might as well. Okay, I got that stamp set. I only did one about the music. The earth has the music. Oh, we should use that one. This set holds on tight, so just work them off. I have actually heard of people tearing their stamps, so don't just yank them. Okay, there we go. I'm going to try this very strange Crafter's Companion curved block. My friend Noni was not a fan of them, so they were in the go away pile, and I thought, well, I always need more blocks. I'm messy. But I want you guys to know, I have fun. And I think that's what matters. If you enjoy washing your stamps, or your block, or cleaning everything after each time that you stamp an image, well then, that's what matters. But you probably don't want to watch me if that's the case. Okay, so now we have this. This is pretty lovely. So I think I want to give this some room to work in case I want to have a long strip of it across the top of a page, or, ooh, how about across the top of a tuck spot? Let's give ourselves some room. And I think I want to go black because the brown just wasn't, it didn't pop like I thought it would. Let's see if I know how to use this crazy kind of block. It's slightly curved. See that? So you actually are supposed to rock it, I guess. The stamp's upside down. Does that matter? Well, not as fun for you to watch. Oh, that's cute. I think that'll be nice. The block is a little weird. I can see why Naomi wasn't a giant fan. I don't know if you can rock back and forth or if you just get one. Oh, look at that. That's really cute. Love it. Now, if you're more of a junk journaler type and you want the lines of the pattern and all that, that's fine too. Because this is more of a nature journal, I'm just trying to avoid the hard lines that are on this paper. Does that make sense? I just want it for the fun tissue paper. If I was doing, say, a sewing journal or some sort of vintage theme journal, I might want the dots of the pattern and all of that. Or like a, you know, those vintage kind of kitchen 50s patterns. Okay, there we go. Those are nice. We'll let them dry. And if you don't like the heavy look of pigment ink and you have something lighter, you could absolutely use your dye-based inks. This Memento would work great. Just whatever you have. Okay, have we made enough of a mess for tonight? I think so. I think I'm gonna go wash my hands, put all the dirty stamps in the drawer and leave them, and then pick out my papers for die cutting. How about that? Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.